Hello and welcome to the best deadlift tutorial on the internet. I'm PeteLifts and I'm going to be teaching Casey how to deadlift in this video. I want this to be a resource for you, for those of you who don't know how to deadlift, or maybe as you go through your career and your journey as a fitness enthusiast, you might forget some of the cues about how to deadlift correctly. I want this to be a resource for you to come back to so that you can remember those cues so that you can deadlift with perfect form every single time. Now, it's fair to say that Casey has never really trained deadlifts before in her life, so this will be exactly how I would train a new client about how to do deadlifts correctly. So first off, let's demonstrate what the deadlift looks like. Reach down, grab the bar, bum down, back straight, extend, past the knees, and come back down again. I'm going to demonstrate one more time. That's what we're aiming for. Now it looks pretty simple like that, but there's lots of little form cues to get correctly, and I'm going to be going through as many as I can in this video right now. The first thing to sort out is how far away is the bar to your stance. The cue that we're looking for is for the bar to be coming over the midfoot, which is the distance between the back of your heel and the tip of your toes. And so you want the bar to be coming right across the middle. And for most people, that's going to be about 1 inch away from your shins. So you actually want to be coming right up to the bar. And it's going to be much closer than you would intuitively do that. But by having the bar closer to your body, you're able to recruit more muscles to lift the weight, and therefore you'll be stronger in the deadlift. The next cue to look for is stance width. So there's a few different cues that people use. One is hip width. So Casey's standing at around hip width, which is fine. Another cue that people use is jumping width. So if you were going to do a standing jump like this, how far apart would your feet be? That's about correct as well. You can either have your feet perfectly parallel with each other, or you can have them slightly pointed outwards, but I wouldn't be deadlifting with them pointed inwards because you're going to put too much strain on the inner quads and on the knee joint. The next cue to be looking for is where do you grip the bar with your arms, and what is the most efficient way to lift this much weight above your knees? It's with a straight arm stance. So if you're going too wide or you're going too narrow, what you're doing is you're increasing the range of motion. So ideally, you want to be having your arms coming straight down and then up again. So let's put all of those first things together and let's try a deadlift. Casey? Okay, so straight arms down, back straight, and then lift. And then down. Okay, not bad. Pretty good for a first attempt. Okay, now we're going to look at some more cues. So for some of you who might have thicker thighs or you might have wider hips, you might struggle to put your arms on either side of your knees in a straight down deadlift. So if you have a particularly wide base, then you may be forced to have your arms slightly flared out, and that's okay. The most important thing is your standing stance takes priority. Your standing stance takes priority over the width of your arms, but in most athletes, ideally, you should be aiming to have your arms coming either side of your knees and straight down before you perform the lift. Let's try that again, just to demonstrate. Okay, so you're gonna come down, grab the bar, straight arms. So Casey has a slightly wider than straight down grip, but that's okay. Yeah, and you're going to extend from the hips and knees. Boom, okay, and then back down again. Okay, again, pretty good attempt. We're going to go through a few extra cues on the deadlift now. So the next one is you want to be thinking, what is your mindset when you're performing the deadlift? What are you thinking about when you're performing the motion? And what you're trying to think about is actually, imagine a string being attached to the crown of your head. And imagine that there's somebody on the ceiling who's reeling that string in, and they're pulling you from this bent position to this straight position here. So as you come down for the deadlift, you're going to be keeping your back straight. You're going to be bringing your bum down, but not so far down that your knees touch the bar, just before that point. And then imagine you have that string on your head, and then the string is pulling you towards the ceiling. Boom, like this. And that's the finishing position right here. So you're not going to be finishing here, and you're not going to be finishing past this point. You're finishing perfectly upright where your head is being pulled towards the ceiling, and then come back down again. Okay. So that should also provide a cue for where your head should be. So some old school coaches would teach you to have neutral spine, which means that your vision would be slightly below the horizon. So old school coaches would coach you to look like this and maintain a neutral spine in the neck the whole time, and you would do this. I did that for many years. Other coaches would teach you to actually look up. So sometimes you'll see people in the gym performing a deadlift like this. They look up and then they do this and they look up the whole time. I don't advocate for that. For me, the best cue that I found works the best for everyone is the cue which I just told you. Imagine you have a string on your head and you're being pulled towards the ceiling. That's going to guide your head and your spine. You're elongating the spine as you perform the deadlift. So, like this, stretch like this, and back again. Okay, so Casey's going to try this now. So let's get set up. So, what are the cues?
Me.
First, how far away from the bar should you be? Nice and close to the bar. You're going to have your feet jumping width or hip width apart. You're going to come down, arms down in the most efficient position possible. For you, yep, bum down but not so far that your knees touch the bar. Back straight, and then pull your head towards the ceiling. Boom, perfect. And can you do it one more time but hold it at the top? Okay, so nice and close to the bar, get the starting position again. Pull your head towards the ceiling, boom. And so you see in this finishing position, Casey's head is being pulled towards the ceiling, she's standing tall, her back is retracted, her hips are pushed forward, and the bar is pressed up right against her upper thigh. Come back down again. Okay, so that's the basics of how to deadlift. A few extra cues for you to think about when you're performing the deadlift in order to do it in the best way possible. A common mistake I see is people finishing the deadlift, and they finish in a position and their shoulders are rolled forward like this, and they finish in this kind of forward position, and what that tends to lead to is upper back rounding, as you can see, and it's actually a pretty dangerous position to be holding in, especially as you start increasing the weights on the deadlift. So how do you avoid this problem when performing the deadlift? The key is actually to activate the lats. So the lats are those big muscles on your back here, and they are involved in this motion here where you're retracting your shoulder blades like this. So a lot of people don't activate their lats in the deadlift, but the lats play a very important role for two reasons. So one is that it allows you to finish the deadlift in a much safer and stronger position like this, with your chest puffed out and your shoulder blades retracted like so. The other function that your lats perform is that they keep the bar close to your body for the whole movement. If the bar starts to come far away from your body from that starting position, what that does is that increases the strain on your lower back here, which can lead to injury and also make the bar feel much heavier because you're not able to recruit as much of your butt and your leg muscles, which are the biggest and strongest muscles in your body. So by activating the lats and retracting those shoulder blades, you come here but you activate them, the bar stays nice and close to the body the whole way through, come to the top, they still are activated, they retract here, and as the bar comes back down again, the bar stays close to the body until the finishing position. So Casey's going to try that now. So first cue, yes, bar nice and close to the body in the midfoot, about shoulder width apart, arms come down in a straight position, or as straight as possible, bum down as low as possible without your knees touching the bar, back is straight, head pull towards the ceiling, and activate those lats the whole way through. Boom, perfect. And you see this nice strong position, the shoulder blades are retracted, there's no rounding at all, and the bar stayed close to Casey's body throughout the whole lift. Come down again. All right, perfect. So that is quintessentially the perfect deadlift form right there. High five. Good job. So if you follow all these cues, you should have perfect deadlift form. The final thing to note and the final thing to talk about is actually how you finish the movement. So if you're not going to demonstrate. So when you perform the deadlift is going to be one of the heaviest movements that you perform in the gym because you're able to recruit so many different muscles in the body in order to perform the deadlift, which is why the deadlift is such a vital movement for every single routine if you want to build an overall well-rounded, structured body. Now, because you're lifting so much weight, safety is very important, and you don't want your body and your spine especially to be vulnerable at any point during the movement. And the most vulnerable point during the deadlift is actually once you finished the initial lift and the bars come back down and it's past your knees. At that point, your legs and your butt become significantly more disengaged, and most of the strain will be on your lower back here. And that is when injuries tend to happen. So in order to avoid injury when performing the deadlift, you should do this for every single rep you do. You come down, arms straight, legs down, head towards the ceiling, pull up, lats activated. And as we come back down again, I'm going to come down slowly, and then once the bar reaches this point and it gets past the knees, we're actually just going to let the bar fall and hit the ground like so. So we're not dropping the bar, although you can do that if you want to. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But what we tend to do is we're holding onto the bar, but we're not providing any resistance. We're just allowing the bar to fall, and that way we're not going to put any excess strain on the lower back and avoid injury when performing heavy deadlifts. So if you see people in the gym dropping the bar and making a lot of noise, and you think they're just being douchey, or you think they're just trying to show off, they're not. It's actually a very important part of safety when performing the deadlift, is to drop the bar once that bar goes past your knee. So to demonstrate one more time, I'm going to come down, I'm bending at the knees and hips, and activate the lats, and head pull towards the ceiling, boom, like this. As I come down, bar goes past my knees, bar comes to the floor and drops like that. It's going to make a loud bang, but you get used to it, and it's very, very important for your safety. So Casey's now going to demonstrate that last part now. So yeah, bam down but not touching the bar, head pull towards the ceiling, activate the lats. Perfect. Now, common problem that we see is people bending here at the elbows, okay? Your arms, you can think of your arms as if they don't even have elbow joints, okay? They're just hooks on strings for the bar. So there's absolutely no bending in the arms because your arms are very small muscles, and when you're dealing with heavy deadlift weights, you don't want to be forcing all of that weight onto your arms. Okay, so let's do it one more time. And this time Casey's going to keep perfectly straight arms. I think you want to have a narrower grip than that, right? Right, straight arm is the most efficient way to lift. Okay, bam down, head pull towards the ceiling, activate the lats. Boom, 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 boom. Straight, arms are now straight. That's a much safer position. And we're going to come back down and drop the bar past the knees. Perfect. Okay, so that is the perfect deadlift. Now, one last thing before you go. You might see some people use different grips on the bar for the deadlift. Most people will deadlift like this, where your palms face towards your body and your fingers come over the top. This is what we call a double overhand grip. That is the most common grip for the deadlift. I recommend when you're starting off with light weights, you should try to learn the deadlift with a double overhand grip like this, because that's going to keep the weight and the resistance against your body completely symmetrical between left and right sides. However, when you get to higher weights, certainly what I found was that I hit a plateau at one point and I couldn't progress past a certain weight. At that point, you might want to consider doing a switch grip, because at that point, a switch grip for a lot of people feels a lot stronger than a double overhand grip. So a switch grip looks like this. That's why you have one hand in an overhand like you did earlier, and instead the other hand, the palm is going to be facing away from your body and your fingers are going to come underneath the bar like this. And in this position, you might feel that the bar feels much more secure in your hands. But all the other cues remain the same. The bar remains close to the body, the lats are still going to be activated, the bum comes nice and low, the back is still straight, the lats are going to be activated, and the top of my head is being pulled towards the ceiling, like this. Pull up like this, and come back down again. So that's a switch grip deadlift. So Casey's going to try a switch grip deadlift now. Back straight, bum down, lats activated, head towards the ceiling. Pull, 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 pull. Nice. Come down. Perfect deadlift, okay? So that's a switch grip. So I just say, it's absolutely fine to use either a double overhand or a switch grip, whichever you prefer to be more comfortable for you. However, I'd recommend if you're doing a switch grip, I would change which hand is over and which hand is under between each set. So your first set, you might do it like this. Okay? Then you take a rest for 2 minutes. And then switch grip. So now this hand is going to come over and this hand is going to come under, and I'm performing the exact same movement again. And by switching your grip in between sets, you avoid developing imbalances in the muscle in your body. Now I'm tired. So just to finish off, I'm going to get Casey to do 2 deadlifts in a row and see if Casey can do it with perfect form. Remember, Casey had never trained deadlifts before this video started, so this is exactly how you would be as a novice deadlifter as well, following these cues, okay?
Just normal ones?
Normal ones. So what's the first cue?
Feet under the bar.
Feet under the bar, over the midfoot. Then width of the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, hip, exactly. You're gonna come down, arms as straight as you can. Okay. Back straight, bum low, but not touching the bar. And then lats activated throughout the whole movement, and the head is being pulled towards the ceiling. Okay, up. And as you come down, you're gonna drop the bar past the knees. All right, second rep. Perfect. Okay, so as you can see, just following those simple cues, you should be able to perform perfect deadlifts every single time. So once the gyms reopen, I hope that you have perfect deadlifts that you can build a nice strong physique. Okay, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe and leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Pop songs, cause I know she likes that. Hitting up the gym, hoping that I get a six-pack. She's a fan of cute days, so I learned to ice skate. Started doing homework, going for the straight A's. Started watching romance, cause those are her favorite. Tried out for a sports team, hoping that I make it. Doing all this